What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri zone for another news video. And we're going to talk about the massive overhaul in midfield because we are trying to build, apparently, according to the media, a complete new midfield. Some might say, me included, about damn time because the midfield has been wasted and mismanaged for too long right now, and we miss so many things in that midfield. However, the big question is, how are we going to pay that? Is it realistic? That's what we're going to talk about. Also, not really a big update on Chiesa, but something I wanna talk about, and then some interesting news surrounding Miretti. But before we get into it, like the video as always, hit the like button now. It's very easy, helps out the channel big time. And subscribe to the channel, and let's go. Okay, so we're gonna start off with Douglas Luiz because that's kind of spearheading the big change in midfield type of news right now. Big change in midfield comes from the idea of that right now at this moment in time you have Locatelli, Fagioli, and Miretti, and McKennie. But McKennie we know is out of the door. Alcaraz is not our player. Rabiot technically is not really our player, free agent. So you have what you have right now. That needs overall. Even if you keep McKennie, even if you keep Alcaraz, even if you keep Rabiot, you miss so much in the midfield. You miss a player who can link that midfield with the front line a little bit. Koopmieners. You need somebody who can carry the ball. Koopmieners. Also Rabiot, not that he's showing it. You need a bit of muscle in that midfield a little bit. Could be Douglas Luiz. Not the muscle you might imagine. But somebody with some sort of real drive. I think Locatelli has done that this season. I just don't like that he plays that deep. I think you waste a lot of his qualities. But the Douglas Luiz story popped out of nowhere, and it's picking up steam. It's picking up a little bit of steam. And this is from Gazzetta dello Sport. But Di Marcio has spoken about it, talking about money. But Gazzetta dello Sport is saying that Douglas Luiz is pushing to join Juve, and he's giving his green light to the move. Clubs are in talks to see what the best offer could be to make this happen, and the players feels slightly optimistic that this deal can happen. Alfredo Pedula spoke as well, and he was asked about Douglas Luiz, and he said, in Torino, so at the club, they're convinced that he can be an excellent player for THIAGO Motta. THIAGO Motta himself is convinced that he can be an extremely good addition. On top of that, he was asked, let's say, out of 1 out of 10, how do you think out of 1 out of 10 the club is convinced that they want to bring in Douglas Luiz? And he said, 11. He said 11. The club is that convinced that Douglas Luiz can come in and do a job, and people are scared about, is Locatelli getting benched? What about Rabiot? He's getting a new deal. Are we signing Koopmieners? All those things are out there. But at the end of the day, you need a good squad. You need a good squad. If you want to win, if you want to compete, you need a good squad. We need to have options. So the best player plays, and if you have 2 good players, well, compete, and we will see. It's not that Vinny Jr. plays. They signed Mbappe. You think they're caring? They're like, oh, what about the minutes for him or him? They're like, whatever. Figure it out, you guys. Fight it out. That's what we need right now. We play 38 games in the Serie A. You play 8, potentially 2 extra should be in the Champions League, Club World Cup, Supercoppa, Coppa Italia. We play a lot of games, and we need to improve. And that midfield has been an issue massively. Now on Douglas Luiz, I like him. I have nothing against that signing. Actually, I'm okay with it. I think it's a good signing. The transfer fees that have been mentioned are unrealistic at this moment in time. That we need to pay 25 million extra above on top of McKennie. I don't think that's realistic. Di Marcio saying that he is asking for 6.5. That's very unrealistic for us. So it's a bit confusing news right now because the elements surrounding it, financial elements and some backstories, they don't really add up to what the club is trying to do right now. So that makes it very confusing. Even the part that Emery wants McKennie, to me, is very confusing after what he did in the Premier League, McKennie, with Leeds. You know, I know he had a bounce back season this year, but still, you know, so it's not a deal. I will be shocked if that deal gets done extremely quickly, if it gets done. But if Motta's like, I can use Douglas Luiz, I think he's a good player, I think we can work with him, then I'm like, fine, you know, make it happen, and we keep moving on. Because I've said, you, or like Motta, sit down with Giuntoli, speak it over, talk it over, and do whatever Motta needs in terms of being a viable option. If it's fair, if it's a fair price, if it's sustainable, you need to help out Thiago Motta. Otherwise, you're going to start off with the back on the wrong foot. Really quickly, before I go to the Miretti news, on Chiesa, Di Marzio reported that he's not really in the picture. Like, he's not out of the picture for Motta, but Motta's like, I want to see what he does at the Euros and in preseason. BS. Like, BS. If the club waits into the Euros, it's to boost his value, hopefully. That's what they hope, so they can sell him on. Because there's no chance that Thiago Motta needs 2 weeks of preseason before he decides on Chiesa. 1 week being fitness tests, and the other week being, I don't know, just some tactical drills and whatever. And then he's like, okay, Chiesa can be the guy. Absolutely no chance. He knows who Chiesa is. He knows what he can do. He knows what he's not doing lately. So he knows the drill. Also, the club is not going to say, okay, we will try, like, we will do nothing. And then towards the end of July, start of August, we will be like, okay, Europe, who wants Chiesa now? And you need to replace him. That's just unrealistic. That decision needs to be made before the Euros. If we go into the Euros with absolutely no news, that's bad news if you want Chiesa to stay. So I want to get that out of the way really quickly. Now, to end up the news story, it's Miretti. A lot of question marks surrounding Miretti. Is he going to stay? Does Thiago Motta want him? And he has option. He has options for many teams, and he has options to stay. So Mirko Di Natale is saying that Bologna, Empoli, Genoa, and Monza are the clubs interested in Fabio Miretti. Juve could consider a loan deal, but the final decision will be that of Motta. Now, that's a player I can see Motta use in preseason and then be like, okay, it's best for you to go out on loan. Because clubs will take him out on loan. These clubs will take him on loan even on the final day of the transfer window. That's not going to happen with Chiesa because it's a loan. So you can do that with Miretti, and I can see him stay with Thiago Motta. I can also see him leave with Thiago Motta on loan. And if I need to pick up, like Bologna, they're going to sign Italiano. Fiorentina got Palladino. Genoa, I think Giardino has done an excellent job. Monza, stay away from that team right now. Empoli, stay away from those teams. So I think Genoa, Bologna are good options for him, to be honest, on loan. So let's see how that will go. But he has options, but that's a player I think Motta will assess during preseason. Not so much with Chiesa. But that's it. You know, that's the update. Douglas Luiz, big overall. Are you worried about playing time for other players? Do you think it's realistic? And actually, do you want Douglas Luiz? That's basically the main question. Let me know in the comments and I will get back to you. And that's it for me. I will see you guys back later tonight for a live show. Ciao.